welcome. All right. So this right here is Todorov's narrative structure. I'll just blast it up on the screen, and I'll be talking it through. Because to be honest, who wants to read text? I mean, no judging. If you want to read text, it's like right there. All right. You can watch it if you can read it if you want. But those who actually want to watch a video, hey, I'm right here. I'm here to help. All right. So here, I'll be kind of reading off the actual notes I'm putting to the left, but I'll make it slightly more entertaining. Put a twist. Put a twist to it all. So in Todorov's narrative structure, stage 1, the equilibrium, which is the balance of normality at the start of the film. Everything's completely fine and dandy. Is not always the case. Equilibrium is just how things are and how things have always been for this specific period of time, and all is in order. Everything's practically predictable at this point. The equilibrium itself is presented through exposition, and it sets the scene, as in where is it, when is it, who are we following, what genre. I'm just saying, if you really just want to read it, it's right over there. Information is delivered through markers, often connotes and sometimes denotes what's actually going on. Difference between connote and denote is to connote something is to sort of infer and be interpreted, right? You pick up the meaning from the thing, whereas denotation of something is the literal, actual meaning. So, I guess an example of this would be like, a red sign. A red sign would be like, bah, stop. Whilst if it says stop on it, it's literally denoting to stop. But even if the word stop wasn't on it and we're driving, on the street and so we see a red sign, in the hexagon shape, I think. We know that it's suggesting to stop. And so the information that is delivered through these markers of exposition are geographical, temporal, historical, and generic, and character. What markers means is basically the actual, I guess, not whereabouts, but what's happening. Geographically, right? A marker for a geographical marker would be perhaps a shot of a famous building somewhere, so if you're in Washington, you'd see the White House, or if you're in New York, the Empire State Building. If you're in Malaysia, the KL Twin Towers, anything that's really significant that people can recognize as to, geographically where this set is being made. Sometimes, you don't actually have to suggest it with landmarks. You could straight up put it here, it's like, oh, we are in Kentucky Fried Chicken. And yeah, temporal. A temporal marker is that, what time of day it is. This can be done in a multitude of ways. You could have, a shot of the sun rising. Oh, that way we know it's morning. Sun setting? No, it's evening, turning nighttime. Sun right in the middle, smack in the middle, boom, afternoon. Or, you get a little sneaky shot of, a clock or something like that. And, it's like saying, oh, it's 7:32 a.m. It's like, okay, morning, wake up, time for breakfast. So yeah, relatively simple, nothing much to it. Historical markers, as in the era, when it's taking place, these can be a tad bit more difficult. They require a bit more thinking to actually get through. So an instance of this would be, when you're connoting a historical marker, could be clothing. So you could have, I guess, very posh and layered clothing for a woman, and that would suggest that it was set in the, 1800s, when all women wore those little frolicky dresses and stuff like that. or even tribal wear. It's like some guy wearing tribal wear, and bam, it's prehistoric times, cavemen or something like that. Ooga booga. And the historical is not only is somewhat related to temporal. Temporal is more so a specific time of day, whereas historical is talking about the period of time. Jurassic era. Jurassic Park is not taking place in the Jurassic era. Heck, they don't even have Jurassic dinosaurs mainly. It's only Paleozoic, I'm pretty sure. Generic marker, which is a genre. These do require also a bit more thinking than the other ones. So in order to give an actual example of a generic marker would be, people making out or something like that, and bam, romance. People shooting and stuff like that. Action. Someone's lost in the jungle. Adventure. Flying spaceship. Sci-fi. It's just general things you'd associate with a genre. These are all connotations that you'd use in order to let the audience interpret what genre is going to be they're watching within the first 5 minutes of the film, if they're stupid enough to not even read the genre of the film that they bought the movie tickets to. And then there's the character markers, which are traits and tropes assigned to a character. These are the ones I think require the most thinking. You can have a jock, the stereotypical football guy of an American high school. You can have the burnouts that are people that basically don't socially fit in well. They're wearing hoodies, they're a bit conservative all the time, and they talk about obscure subjects or something like that. And no one wants to talk to them or something like that. I can argue I'm almost one of those people. Don't wear the hoodies all the time though, alright? Those get a bit hot in Malaysia. Alright, and that's just stage 1 of Todorov's narrative structure. Stage 2 to 5 though, a lot quicker. Stage 2 is a disruption of the ordered state by an event, So in this case, something out of the ordinary is basically happening. So this can be happening in a way that only the audience knows about it, and the protagonist of the film is completely unaware of the situation. As for stage 3, this is actually when the protagonist has recognition of the disruption that's taken place. Let's say you're inside a mall, basically, alright, and then the we as an audience are given a shot of terrorists walking in and then placing a bomb inside the store. The protagonist could be on the other side of the mall, completely unaware of the situation. So stage 2 of the disruption of equilibrium has occurred, but stage 3 has not yet been processed because the protagonist has not recognized the disruption, and so this disruption can be recognized by people running out of the mall now, and it's like, oh my god, something's happened, something's wrong. And so this leads on to stage 4, where an attempt to repair the damage due to the disruption is taken. Let's say that the protagonist turns out to be like some ex-bomb squad or something like that, and he just happens to have like some clips and stuff like that, and like cut the red wire of the bomb. This is all theoretical, right? And that would be the attempt to repair the damage to the disruption. Usually there'll be multiple Todorov's narrative structures in order to create extra disequilibriums and create a more complex storyline. But this right now is the most simple. Stage 5 is the return to a new equilibrium. That equilibrium could be the exact same thing as before. The first equilibrium, it's like, oh, we're just walking around this store or something like that. Or it could be a return to new equilibrium. This ex-bomb squad member I was talking about has finally returned to his old job and is willing to take on bomb cases yet again after something bad happened to his wife. Or husband, right? It could be a female bomb squad member. Alright, I'm not one to judge. And so, basically, how this would look is something like this. I'll just flash it on the screen right now. So first we'll have the exposition happening, and then the rising action of the actual narrative structure taking place, and plot points, etc. Then there's the crisis, right? That's the disequilibrium of the situation. The climax is the attempt to resolve the situation. then you get the falling action, which is basically, the soul, everything's turning back to a new state, and we're satisfied with a ending for the movie.